What up, YouTube? Welcome back. Long time no see. But I wanted to come through for a moment and just get my thoughts and opinions on the situation involving Kevin Samuels. And normally I really try not to mention YouTubers by name because, I don't want to come off as if I'm clout chasing and just trying to get some views. But I think kind of like at this point, Kevin Samuels is at this point becoming more and more of a like I won't say mainstream. I won't say he has hit mainstream just yet, but he's becoming more and more mainstream, though. I'll say that. The point that he may possibly even, go beyond YouTube and just into the general mainstream public. And I think it'd be like a 15-minute of fame type of thing. But I'm not really here to discuss that, though. But I just said all that to just say that, normally I don't go around naming names, even though everybody on this YouTube platform be clout chasing one way or another. But I just wanted to throw that out there, though. But what I really want to talk about is like this high school photo that surfaced of Kevin, and also go more into conversations about validity and even possibly plagiarism. All right. So, for those of you who do not know, a high school photo of Kevin surfaced. And it wasn't like a graduation photo. It wasn't a, you know, seniors in formal wear photo. It was more so a photo of Kevin in more so a casual look and talking about stuff. All right. But yeah, the photo was casual and more so like it's strange because I don't know where this photo would actually fall in a yearbook. It's not like the it's not like the regular photos that students take. It's not like the senior photos or the graduation photos or the club photos or the sports photos. So I don't know where exactly this falls, but apparently it falls somewhere because it's in this book. But then again, I don't see this book, but whatever. But the photo has surfaced, and people are saying that this photo is proof that Kevin Samuels is a member of the LGBTQIA elemental P community because of some things that were said in the caption that accompanies this photo. And also because people saying that, oh, Kevin used to be a male cheerleader back in high school, and he used to be. They're saying that the MHS dancers are actually a cheerleading squad. And that's what they call the cheerleading squad, which is strange because my school, the cheerleaders was considered the cheerleaders and the dance team was considered the drill team. But, different strokes for different folks. That's how it goes. But yeah, so the photo, you probably seen it. It's a photo of Kevin. He's kind of posed in a particular way, and some people may feel like that pose isn't, the most, I guess, masculine pose. Perhaps. People are saying that he's wearing, booty shorts, hot pants, Daisy Dukes, cooch cutters. But the photo that I'm seeing, I'm not sure if that's completely true, just because it's only from kind of like a little lower than the waist and up versus a full body photo, unless they have some other photo floating around. And perhaps maybe because he has his shirt tucked in or something, or maybe some other thing. I don't know. But people are saying that this is like, proof that, Kevin Samuels, K-Sam, is a part of the LGBTQIA elemental P community. And I'll read the caption that goes along with this as well for you. So Kevin Roshan Samuels, parentheses Fred. I don't know where the Fred comes from, considering that I don't see any way that you would get Fred from Kevin, Roshan, or Samuels. Like, is it like Fred, Flintstone, Fred Sanford, um, Freddy Krueger, Ready Freddy, Five Nights at Freddy? Who did? Who this person? But Kevin Roshan Samuels is a Pisces. Fish. Right? That is fish. And he describes himself as unique. UNIQUE, unique. All right. And Kevin says that he enjoys dancing. You better dip that thing, Kevin. And clothes. He likes to look nice. And he enjoys meeting new people too at the club when he dipping that thing. See, that's how you get a ring and a high value man when you be at the club dipping that thing. And he's a member of the band. I wonder what instrument he played. Flute, clarinet. And he's also a member of the student council. Okay. All right. I wonder what he was counseling in them students over there. And he's also a member of the stage band and a member of the HS dancers. And they're saying that this is the cheerleading squad. Okay, Kevin. Work that pom-pom. He's also a member of the pep club. I'm not sure what that is. I'm guessing the pep rally club, getting students hyped and pepped up. All right, you better work that crowd, Kevin. And he's also a member of the Bronze Gents. You better get yourself a high value man, Kevin. See, back in high school, Kevin was already on the hunt. Kevin plans to attend OU and major in biomed. Okay. All right. Kevin sounds like, one of the smart ones. If he's going to major in biomed. I wonder, did he ever go through with that? I remember Kevin Samuels saying he was working in engineering. Perhaps, I don't know. But then again, folks can just say they says, worked here, worked there, and never worked anywhere. Folks can just say stuff. But if what he's saying is true, then he perhaps actually did major in and complete a degree in biomed. So congratulations if that is true, Kevin. So that is just, the caption that accompanied the photo. And, folks are saying that basically this says that Kevin Samuels is a homosexual. And I'm just like, well, clearly you guys aren't privy to how high value heterosexual men operate, right? You're just not privy to it. And it's a little sad about that because it shows that you probably haven't seen your mother be loved by a high value man. That's sad, You know, while playing his flute and twerking that thing. Shout out to Lizzo. Lizzo was doing a thing, made it mainstream. So shout out to Lizzo. We got to give credit where credit is due. But Kevin Samuels was doing it way back in the day though, right? And that's okay. All right. But the jokes and stuff aside, let me get a little more serious though. So I would say, gay, straight, bi, trans, whatever. I'll say that Kevin Samuels seems to be living his best life right now. He seems to be really popping right now. So whatever the orientation is, congratulations to Kevin, And congratulations to a black man living his best life. All right. And I'll put this out here too. Does it matter though? Exactly. And in terms of like what he says, and what the points that he makes, the topics that he discusses, does it matter? And I'm trying to be, a little, quote unquote, even Steven here, and just kind of give a fair crack at the whip for both sides. But would it take away from Kevin's validity if, the rumors were in fact true in terms of what he says? And I'll say ultimately it doesn't, although I will say that there is hypocrisy in this, because if Kevin Samuels was someone that you didn't agree with, a lot of people would use this as something to tear him down. Because there's people who are defending Kevin Samuels. There's a segment of black men who are, coming through and defending Kevin Samuels. And that's cool that black men are defending black men, or a black man. That's great and that's cool and all. But it's like, well, if Kevin Samuels, like, would you be defending him and saying, like, oh, it's irrelevant if it was something that you didn't agree with? Like, for instance, if this came out about, like, say, Derek Jackson, would you have the same reaction to this? And would you be so quick to jump to defend this? No, you wouldn't, because you don't really agree with, you may not agree with what Derek Jackson says, right? You may actually disagree with it and use this as a way to invalidate what he says, right? And again, I think there's hypocrisy about this on both sides, because it's like folks want to come through with and think of ways to invalidate people's arguments. Like when black women are speaking about stuff, some folks will say, oh, well, she wears a weave, she wears makeup, she's overweight, oh, she doesn't have a man, she's not married, etc., to take away from what she's trying to say. Right? And those same people who would push that narrative to invalidate black women or someone who they just don't agree with are all of a sudden saying that, oh, those things and those type of things are not relevant. They don't matter anymore. And I'll say on both sides of the fence, I'll say that it's ultimately, I don't think it invalidates the point that the person is trying to make, but people will use that as a way to invalidate the points that people are trying to make, right? And as well, just in general, I do think that Kevin Samuels is quote unquote fair game. I mean, heck, Megan Thee Stallion was fair game and she got shot, and folks was coming through saying that she was like a dude, or that she started the fight and she was aggressive. Just making a whole story, and you don't even know what actually happened, right? So because of that and way more things, Kevin Samuels is fair game, and I think that this, like, he can go through this, right? He should go through this. If other people have had to go through this, then he should have to go through this as well, right? And I feel like this situation with Kevin Samuels, and particularly black men, not all, but a segment of black men, is sort of like Revenge of the Nerds, or like Revenge of the Dust Buckets, the Dusties, revenge of like the black male, I won't say Dusties, even though I said it previously, but revenge of the black males. Black males, black men, notice I made a, differentiation there. But yeah, I feel like this is like Kevin Samuels is, because of his platform that he has, he's able to push a certain narrative that some of these dudes want pushed, that regards black women, and just women in general, but especially black women, because I feel like that's where like the claws come out. You know, that's where the fangs come out. That's when people really start digging in, right? Like, oh, you average at best. Oh, you gonna die alone. You in the danger zone. Ooh. And I'm like, at the end of the day, you know, God has the final say. God has the last say on who dies alone. And by the way, there are people who are married with children who die alone. All right. So just because you married, you got a ring on your finger and you got children, don't mean you gonna die with somebody, by your side. There's married people with children who die alone every day. Just as there's single people on paper who die with people around them. You know. And as well, I feel like people bring up those facts, not facts, but people bring up those things like, oh, someone's looks, someone's sexual orientation, someone's skin tone, someone's marital status as ways to derail and deflect from the point that a person is trying to make. And I feel like that happens on both sides. You know. And I know there are some black women who do take issue with Kevin Samuels, and rightfully so. I'm not saying that there's not anything to take issue with and that black women and their emotions are invalid. But I will say that Kevin Samuels have a lot of black women who support him, and that is important to point out. Kevin Samuels has a lot of black women who call up and support him and who even call up and put themselves out there to be critiqued or to be judged or rated or whatever you want to call it. You know, that's something that has to be addressed as well. Um, Black women are calling up, black women are supporting. That black woman who went viral, the brown skinned, dark skinned black woman who went viral because of what Kevin Samuels was saying about her and, low key roasting her and stuff like that. Like, she said that she watched and she was familiar with his content, you know. So that is important to point out too. It's like, not all, but more than enough black women participate in this type of stuff and support it. And also, Kevin Samuels, I think at this point he's like at 814,000 subscribers right now. He's very close to hitting 1 million subscribers. Right? Like, he's about to crack that 1 million subscriber mark on YouTube. And of course, the subscriber count isn't everything, but it is something. And I think that's worth pointing out and worth noting. So I'm sure Kevin Samuels probably gets some nice checks coming through. I'm sure Kevin Samuels is getting some nice business opportunities coming through, and that's what's up for Kevin Samuels. And also, some people, like, I've seen a little bit. I'm not like super familiar with Kevin Samuels, but I have seen a little bit of Kevin Samuels, and some people who call up to like disagree with him, they don't be having their arguments ready. They don't be having the uh, rebuttals and comebacks and answers ready, really. They just seem to kind of be babbling and just not really know what they're talking about, even though you called up to the show to speak your piece and to sound off on some stuff. And also, in this conversation, plagiarism has come up too. I'm not going to name names in this case because, I'm not trying to start a beef. I don't really want no YouTube beef. I don't come on here to YouTube beef with folks. I just come on here to speak my piece and hopefully somebody or some a few folks like what the piece I'm speaking and, come through and support, and that's what's up. But I want to speak on this plagiarism stuff for at least a moment because there was a YouTuber who recently came through and said that Kevin Samuels is plagiarizing their content and their speaking points and talking points. And I feel like and they also show some sort of an analytics of them saying that, oh, Kevin Samuels is watching my content. And I feel like that analytic was not exactly interpreted correctly because the way that I understand that analytic is it's showing that the people who watch Kevin Samuels may also watch you as well, right? Where it's like, oh, people will watch, the people who watch you, they also watch Kevin Samuels' content, which can be true. Just like in my analytics, it shows people who watch like my content and other content creators. And I actually seen this YouTuber in my analytics too. It doesn't mean that they're looking at my content and copying it or even just looking at my content. It just means like the people who look at their content also looks at my content and vice versa. So I think that may have been misinterpreted. Not to say that Kevin Samuels never watched this YouTuber at all. Perhaps, I don't know. But I'm pretty sure that they probably at least have watched him at least once. They said that like they were on a panel together. So at least once, right? And also, I feel like the talking points that Kevin Samuels was bringing up that the YouTuber was mentioning that was like, oh, this person plagiarized. I feel like those talking points are kind of like they've been said before at one point or another. Um, they've been said by some person brought up Louis Farrakhan, so we can go with that. And also probably before that and probably after that too. And I feel like those particular talking points about black men building and having their own, I feel like those aren't necessarily new. Talking points are even talking points that have been innovated on. Because Kevin Samuels, they showed a clip of Kevin Samuels talking about that in the Joe Budden interview that he did. Something to the effect of black men having their own, bakery, dry cleaner, schools, hospitals, etc. Right? They own stuff, right? But the thing is with Kevin's content and also both the content creator who's accusing Kevin Samuels of plagiarizing, I feel like, okay, it's been said, all right, black men need their own. The black community needs their own, and they need black men to lead that charge. Great, understood. But I wish that Kevin Samuels and or the content creator would sort of elaborate a bit more. I think I would like to see Kevin elaborate a bit more on how exactly you do this, because of course it's easy to say this stuff, but it's like more difficult to actually put together a realistic, logical, doable plan to actually get this in motion, right? About, having their own, black men having their own. So, I'm sure that Kevin Samuels has probably taken an idea here and an idea there, as we all have, you know. I don't think, I'm not sure if it's completely just like, okay, I'm watching content, writing notes, notes. Because there's some things that Kevin Samuels talks about that content creator doesn't, and vice versa. There are some things that content creator talks about that Kevin Samuels doesn't either. Um, and I guess the argument would be, well, he's not copying all, just this, right? um, and by the way, I don't really have a problem with that content creator. I do support that content creator actually and watch their content often. So I don't really have an issue with that content creator. I don't want it to get messed up. That's partially why the reason I'm just not mentioning the name. But I just wanted to come through and speak on that a little bit. I'm sure you probably know who I'm talking about, right? But I just wanted to put that out there too. Because it can be a slippery slope when it comes to plagiarizing and accusations of plagiarism. Just because nothing's new under the sun, you know? Ain't nothing new under the sun. At one point or another, someone has spoken on like a lot of this stuff, right? And it sort of reminds me slightly of like the YouTuber Rashida Strober, aka the world's first dark skinned activist, and her accusing the YouTuber Chrissy of plagiarizing her content. And I'm looking at the content that she does and the content that Chrissy does. I'm like, well, where's really the problem? I don't really see that, And it's just like, well, it seems to be just because they're talking about colorism in general that, oh, well, it's plagiarism, versus, oh, you're talking about something I'm not talking about, right? But yeah, so I guess that's all I got. I guess I can talk about a couple of more things. So for those of you who don't know, they're going to be doing a remake, a reboot of the movie Bring It On, and Kevin Samuels is going to be a part of it, y'all. That's what's up. He gonna be playing like the double crossing cheerleader who be helping them white cheerleaders steal moves from the black cheerleaders. But I actually do remember that Gabrielle Union was a part of that movie. Kirsten Dunst and Elijah Dushku also in the movie too. Oddly enough, Gabrielle Union is still in these blogs and, still seemingly more relevant. I don't know if the paycheck is good, but, I'm hearing more about Gabrielle Union than Kirsten Dunst and Eliza Dushku. But yeah, they're going to be doing a remake, and Kevin Samuels, that's going to be his part, I guess. But someone also brought up that accusing Kevin Samuels of getting a nose job. Do you think Kevin Samuels got a nose job? I don't think so. But they were just comparing like a photo that they seen of Kevin, kind of like a little back versus photos of now. And I just feel like I don't think that's true. But what do you guys think? Do you think Kevin got a nose job? Y'all think Kevin got that nose snatched? Or he could be snatching that nose with contour, right? And I guess one more thing that's off topic. Jeannie Mai didn't invite her co-host of The Real to her wedding. And I will say, good, Jeannie. That's good, because they was going to hate on you. Because they jealous that you got a high-value black king, and they don't. All right? So they was going to be on their head. Lonnie was going to come through with her low-value brand and come through eating all your cake and ice cream and fried chicken and air fried chicken at your wedding while talking smack about you on the low. And then also, that the latest co-host, that other black woman from the Jamie Foxx show, she gonna come through hating too, right? They gonna come through hating on you, Jeannie. And that was good that you didn't let them come to the wedding, all right? But, we saw the wedding photo, and congratulations to, Jeannie Mai and Jeezy, looking like a can of busted buttermilk biscuits in a suit, all right? See, Jeezy, that's what happens when you leave the Black Queen, all right? When you leave the Black Queen, you End up looking like that. All right, because a real black queen, a real black woman wouldn't have let you come out there looking like that and getting your photo snapped. All right. Now you don't see Gucci Mane in photos like that. You don't see Barack Obama in photos like that. You don't see LeBron James in photos like that. That's what happens when you forsake the black queen. All right. Your image will be forever solidified in a busted photo of you in a pinkish suit, you know, looking like a can of busted buttermilk biscuits. All right. But that's all I got for the moment, y'all, right? And also, Adrian would have came to her wedding talking about that she a Latina and she was on Cheetah Girls, and no one cares. No one cares about that. All right. So yeah, they would have been hating on Eugene. They would have been hating on you. All right. You notice that Tamar wasn't invited to the wedding either. And Tamara wasn't either. Yeah. But yeah, so congratulations to Jeezy Mai. Congratulations to Jeezy Mai. That's their couple name. Congratulations to them. And also to Kevin Samuels for being out here living his best life, gay, straight, bi, trans, pansexual, whatever. Hey, he living his best life, getting to the money, and some other stuff possibly. That's what's up. But yeah, it looks like this Kevin Samuels train is going to be going on for a little longer at least. So what are the black women who don't like Kevin Samuels to do? And I would say possibly just trying to convince the black women who do like Kevin Samuels to withdraw support. And I guess that's all I got to say about this subject. I don't want to go on for too long, so thanks for watching and comment in the comment section and let me know what you think about all this. Were y'all jealous of seeing Kevin Samuels photos, black women, because he had legs for days and his Daisy Dukes? Because he was looking snatched and fierce in photos. Because he's unique. All right. Because he likes to dip that thing. You better dip that thing, Kevin. Get you a wedding ring and a high value man. But that's all I got for the moment. Thanks for watching. Adios and goodbye for now.